today we have a Sam Wilson showcase, and I really like this guy. It's a bit of a weird story for me. So I used to really write this guy off, mainly for the reason that everyone else has been writing him off because of his damage output. But honestly, I've learned to grow past it, and his damage isn't actually that bad in like the right scenario. So this is gonna be a quick utility showcase. Well, actually not that quick. It's like 18 minutes long, but yeah, I'm really excited to show you what he can do. So we have an Alliance War fight to start things off, which is pretty rare on my end. This is a Kitty Pryde on Path 6. I've done this fight before. It's a very straightforward fight, just because Sam Wilson counters Kitty so well because he has a cowardice whenever he's locked on. So that's like a really easy way to counter Kitty Pryde. He also doesn't crit, so she'll never gain prowess anyway. So he's just a very good counter for her. So yeah, that was a pretty fast fight too. That was like a 50-second fight, which is not bad at all. Alright, back to Act 7, we have this Havoc on Fortification. And people were kind of like 50-50 on if he's a good Havoc counter, just because like he does consume his armor ups on the SB2, and that is like his big form of damage. But he also has another way to counter Havoc with the sap charges, because it's a constant power drain, so he'll always lose charges from it. Additionally, Captain America Sam Wilson is a physical only damage dealer. There is no energy damage with him, so Havoc will like never get any plasmas, besides the fact that like his base abilities give him plasmas. So yeah, Sam Wilson, in my opinion, is a great counter to Havoc. You're gonna see right here, I drop it while I'm not locked on for whatever reason. I don't know why I did that, but you know what? It's fine. So yeah, this fight's going pretty well so far. You see that I'm at 10 of the like detonation thingies, right? And then I get my armor up, so now he can tank the detonation without taking any damage. So I really do like Sam Wilson as a Havoc counter. Would it be my go-to Havoc counter? Probably not. I think that still goes to the likes of Warlock. Mainly because Warlock, there is no window where he doesn't have his armor above versus a Havoc, right? And Sam Wilson, he does have that very small window after the SB2 where he doesn't have an armor above. So that's the only problem I have with him if you are using him for Havoc. But yeah, this fight, not the fastest fight, not the slowest fight. It's just a pretty simple Havoc fight. But yeah, we get the job done. Not in the worst time either. I believe it was about like 130. Yeah, no, 125, not bad at all. Speaking of no crits, we have this Mr. Sinister right here. And this Mr. Sinister, first of all, I hate fighting Mr. Sinister, thanks to my new AQ path. Oh my gosh, I get folded every single day by Mr. Sinister on my AQ path. And I never bring Sam Wilson, and I probably should, because he is such a good Mr. Sinister counter. There's really nothing to look out for here. Mr. Sinister can, he can transfer the ruptures from Sam Wilson's SB2 onto you, but the ruptures don't do all the damage. It's the burst damage that does all the damage. So the ruptures will do no damage to you, so you can heal from them pretty much. So just keep that in mind. There's really nothing to worry about when you're fighting Mr. Sinister with Sam Wilson. And I feel like Sam Wilson is just a very good counter to a ton of mutants. Of course, there is a certain robot that also does that, and he's regarded as the Tech Human Torch. But Sam Wilson extends beyond that, to be honest, so I'm not even I'm not saying that Sam Wilson's a mutant killer, because he's not. He's just a good all-around utility character. And, of course, the damage, I personally don't really think it is that problematic. I feel like his damage is fine in some cases. When you have his synergies, then it's, fine. By himself, I definitely see the case that he is a noodle. But, when he has the Captain America Infinity War synergy, then I feel like he is a fine damage dealer. But, yeah, this fight going pretty well. I seen him knock him down and then just drop the SP1. And yeah, that wraps that up. Pretty fast fight there as well. That was 127. So now we have this Ultron on the same exact lane. And I just want to show this fight because I feel like I showed too many mutants on this showcase. So I just want to show a non-mutant for once. And he still does it in good time. He is still a pretty decent damage dealer even without the class advantage. So yeah, this fight, nothing really special about it. It's just a life cycle lane, but it has a tech node on it as well. So you can just take that, use it for your advantage. So we drop the SP1 here. My ideal rotation for Sam Wilson, I think, is the SP1, then SP2. Of course, being locked on when you throw the special attacks. His lock on, I really like because that has a very, very strong duration. I think it's like. Actually, okay, I don't want to say because I really have no idea. It just looks long, so I'm going to assume that it is a long duration. I think it's longer than Falcon's because Sam Wilson's actually does pause during his special attack, so that's important to keep in mind. That his does pause. It pauses on his special attacks, not the opponent's, just his. So that does extend the duration of it. So it is a pretty dang long lock on. Like it has duration to it. And the cooldown time isn't the worst either, I believe. I believe it's the same cooldown time as the original Falcon. So like a lot of inspiration was taken from the OG Falcon for this guy. He's just like, I wouldn't call him a tech Falcon because like I don't know. I feel like they're just way too different. I feel like Sam Wilson does have more, like, a broader aspect of utility, right? Like, he's just, like, he has more broad utility. He has, like, no crit. Of course, all of his utility is, like, aimed towards a tech character, right? But even that, he does have some, like, general utility, like his right here. Whenever he has a bulwark buff, he reduces the opponent's offensive ability accuracy by 100%. So that is a very strong ability that is not really common in a tech character. That's just like a very general piece of utility. So this is Power Snack and Hard Knock Life. I just need to get the bulwark up ASAP so I can just show you that he does counter Hard Knock Life very, very well. So you get the bulwark by converting one armor by either intercepting or doing a heavy attack. I usually like intercepting, but you can just do a heavy attack. It's probably much more easier. So we have the bulwark up now. We go for a parry, no disorient. And that's just how the whole fight's going to be. It's just no disorient ever, just as long as you keep up the bulwark buff. And the bulwark buff has a pretty strong duration, and it also is like very easy to like refresh by doing the heavy attack or doing an intercept. So like you should have it at all times. Of course, sometimes the opponent plays very passive and you can't intercept, or you just like can't really heavy attack. So it does make sense that like sometimes you will not have it up at all times, right? But for the most part, it is a very like easily accessible thing. And I think it's a really good piece of utility as well because like 100% offensive ability accuracy, that can be very, very good. You know, like Kinetic Transference, Hard Knock Life, Defective Defense. That one is very, very annoying. I cannot stand that node. Like, it's just, you take so many disorients to the face. Like, you can't even, like, block because you'll just get, like, destroyed by disorients. But, like, yeah, a ton of nodes like that. A lot of, like, base champion abilities as well. I'm blanking on them right now, but I know they do exist. But, yeah. This fight, a bit of a longer one just because you have to like constantly refresh the lock on. You have to constantly refresh the bulwark. So it can be like a bit time consuming, I guess. Which I guess goes to show like, I guess this damage problem. Because like you take a lot of time away like making sure you have the bulwark up and things like that. So two things about this lane. One, it's very, very fun. And two, this has bubble shield. And I'm going to show you just how good Sam Wilson's bulwark ability is. So I don't know why I'm on this screen for so long. I think I'm just reading what the node does. I take this lane a lot and I like never read what the node does. I'm just like, okay, Fury. I just somehow get a Fury buff. I don't know how it happens, but now I know how it happens. It happens whenever you consume an armor up buff, pretty much. It's a pretty potent Fury as well. So, but yeah, we try to get the bulwark up ASAP, right? And then we can just now block and then no bubble shield, which is very, very solid because I like having block efficiency. So yeah, I think it's really awesome, like his bulwark buff. Easily the best bulwark buff in the game, like because every other bulwark buff does literally nothing except increase your block efficiency, but this one actually has other utility to it. It's just a very strong ability. I feel like it is probably the biggest takeaway from Sam Wilson because like, I don't know, it's so unique. Like it's so unique. Like pretty much no other character has this. That was kind of dumb of me to do. I tried to like do a heavy attack first to get the bulwark up and then do an SP2, but I forgot that it's on the second hit, not the first hit. So that was like pretty useless. But I go for intercept here, and yeah, this fight is pretty much done. And I took 0 bubble shield blocks to the face. So that is really, really nice. And that was also a pretty dang fast fight as well. I think that was like a minute 10. Yeah, a minute 9. Perfect. Same node, same lane. It's just now it's a Colossus. And Colossus is quite a beefy guy. Like, you know, he has all of his resistances, he has all of his armor up. He has like that thing where he like reduces crit damage, but I don't think he reduces crit damage from like champions that don't crit, you know, like the passive shock from Guardian or like the passive rupture from Sam Wilson. I don't think he reduces that. So I think that's why I think that's why Sam Wilson is such a good counter to Colossus. Even though that Colossus doesn't really need a counter, but nonetheless. So we get the Bork up there. Now Bubble Shield's completely countered. And yeah, now we just need to lock on and drop the SP2, and it's going to be a very fun time. So yeah, like, Sam Wilson, I wouldn't say he has like a set rotation. I didn't even like showcase the SP3 rotation in this video because I already made a whole video on it, and it's such a good ability. And you should, like, if you want to learn more about it, like, if you haven't seen the video yet and you want to learn more about it, you should go check it out because it is just crazy how much he can, like, power control some fights. I just couldn't find room for it on this showcase here, but it is a pretty good power control. I've talked about it plenty. The only problem is that you really do want 3-3 Petrify for it, or else it can be a bit annoying to, like, get into the cycle of it, but it's still very solid overall. But yeah, this fight is going silky smooth. Nice SP2 there. I wish the last 3 beam hits were more like I wish they hit harder because like it's so anticlimactic. Like you do the one massive hit and then the beam hits are like half the damage of like the original hit. But yeah. So now we have this Professor X and Wombo combo. I want to show this because Sam Wilson does counter miss when he's locked on. I think that's pretty valuable. So you're going to see right here, Professor X is going to like try to falter us, but we're going to just counter the miss anyway. So I do think it's a pretty strong miss counter just because like his lock on has a very strong duration. And it's going to be like up for pretty much like 60% of the fight, 75% of the fight. So yeah, I really do think it's a very strong ability. So right here, we're going to lock on. We're just going to hit into his falter. Doesn't even matter. And we go for the SP1 here, get the physical vulnerability. And then it just hit me that I shouldn't have done that because the vulnerability just falls right off because I'm right back at it. But yeah, it's fine. I don't know why I like didn't even remember that. Oh my god. That's so embarrassing. Yeah. Right back at it just completely takes away the physical vulnerability. But yeah, I don't like how he doesn't have like a full uptime on the miss counter. It would be cool if he had it if like so long as he had an armor up buff, that would just make it like pretty much a permanent miss counter. But you know what? Lock on is also fine. So yeah, this fight pretty smooth. I go for a pretty nice SP2 here, and that should close it out. Like 1%, come on. Okay, but there, I closed it out. So yeah, that was about like 121, not bad at all. So now it's time for some boss action. I have 2 bosses here. I have a Weapon X boss and then the 7.2 Magneto House of X boss. So this Weapon X boss, I really like showing as like a testing ground for a tech champ, just because he's very, very annoying. I just like to see how some tech characters deal with him. Sam Wilson, he honestly does have some mechanics to counter this guy. Like for one, for every armor up that he has 25% bleed resistance. So like when he has 4 armor ups, then Weapon X cannot bleed him, and that's a pretty nice ability because if you take a single hit from Weapon X, you're probably dead from the bleed damage, right? Like that's the biggest issue with Weapon X. I feel like the bleed damage is what really like does the job for him as like a really annoying defender because you can just slip up, he does a combo, you get like 5 bleeds and then you're just done, right? But with Sam Wilson, he doesn't like get bled, so that's pretty cool. I wanted to showcase it like on a path, but you only get the armor ups when you're like attacking, so you have to like take a lot of bleeds first to like get the immunity going, which is of course very, very annoying. I wish he just like, I don't know, had it at base. That would be pretty cool, but then again, he is just like a regular person, so I don't know why they would give him that like at base. But enough of my complaints. Yeah, he's making really quick work of this guy for being a boss, like and having like almost 600k health. He is making very quick work of this guy. So yeah, we dropped the SP2. Some pretty nice damage there. We need to bait out the SP2 now. And another thing is, if we were to get caught by a special attack in his enraged mode, we can just auto block it. And I'm going to show you that in the next fight here. But that was a very smooth fight. That was like 139, which is very good for a boss time. So Sam Wilson has this ability where he can block unblockable special attacks from mutant characters, and he can auto block any special attack from any champion. Additionally, he can also parry non-contact hits, but I forgot to mention that. You could see it in the Professor X fight, but yeah, he does do that as well, as long as he has an armor up buff. And yeah, so for these abilities, he just needs to have the armor up buff active, and that's very, very awesome because he always has one active pretty much, except for like after you throw the SP2 for like 5 seconds. So yeah, you're going to see right here, I do use the ability in this fight just because White Magneto has unblockable special attacks in this fight, and that is pretty scary. But like right there, you see the unblockable passive, so I'm going to try to block one purposefully. This also has Special Connoisseur. If I said that right first try, that's pretty insane. But yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot of damage with the SP2. This is a very, very fun fight, by the way. Like, it's one of my favorite fights to do. But yeah, so now he's power drained, so that's pretty cool. Not really what I wanted, though, because I wanted to purposely block special attacks. But you know what? It's fine. I'll take that as well. Okay, here. See how I can just block it freely? It was fully unblockable, and I was still able to block it. That is pretty cool. And if you can like parry it, you can keep your furry buffs active, so that's also very cool as well. So yeah, very awesome ability. And then here I don't have the armor above, so I was like, okay, don't let him throw the special attack, but now I have it, so it's fine. And yeah, this is pretty much almost wrapped up. I just need to do like one more special attack, and then that'll be it. I get it right before the window closes, and yeah, that wraps that up. And that wraps up this showcase as well. So let me know your thoughts on Sam Wilson. I really like this character. I think he's super cool. I love his utility. His damage, of course, it can be problematic, but in my opinion, it's not even that bad. But yeah, I really do like this guy. I might post a review of him later today. And yeah, that's about it for me.